All right, foul tips for this. What this is today's date, January the 19th, 2023. Today's foul tips is brought to you by Collectible Exchange and collectibleexchange.com. Use promo code 1420CX at collectibleexchange.com today for all your sports collectibles and memorabilia for your man or woman cave today. Lots of good stuff at collectibleexchange.com. They got music stuff too. I was browsing their website the other day. They got a lot of cool stuff out there. Anyways, pitchers and catchers are getting closer. Pitchers and catch reporting 26 days from now. Spring training games begin on February 24th. That's 37 days from now. And opening day, Christmas Day for baseball dorks like myself, 68 days away. Can't wait. Getting closer and closer. Teams are finalizing their rosters. Lots of moves are happening throughout the major leagues of baseball, minor leagues of baseball. We had the news we talked about last week about the robo umps. We won't get back into that. I talked about it yesterday on the Hey Blue podcast. If you're a baseball umpire and you're unaware of the umpire podcast that we do, it's the Hey Blue one. Make sure you guys check that out for people who don't know. I don't know how you wouldn't. We're pretty we're all over the place all the time, all day, every day for your listening pleasure. We got shows for everybody out there. Anyways, as stated earlier, opening day is 68 days away. I'm here today to give you guys a little heads up on some teams that aren't making the playoffs. If it's your team, I'm sorry, but I might save you the heartache, the strain, to save you some money at Bodog and Bet US and everywhere else, wherever else you might put a couple of bucks down on your team throughout the season. I will let you know right here today on the 18th. Well, it's the 18th of January. It gets out on the 19th is how we do things. But anyways, on the 18th of January here, I will let you know of 10 teams that are not making the playoffs for the 2023 Major League season. The biggest one, and the thing that it's not all payroll that why these teams aren't going to make the playoffs. It's a lot to do with payroll, some of them. But you look at a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, and I don't know how they do it year in, year out, how they have 90, 95 wins, whatever it is every year, and they contend for the American League East with the high-flying New York Yankees and the money that they spend on a yearly basis. And you got Boston, who's taken a step back in recent months or years, but you got Toronto, who's not afraid to be spending a little bit of money either, and the team that they got going. Go out and get Brendan Belt. I like that move to get them over the hump a little bit. The kind of guy like Belt helps with a couple championships that he got with the San Francisco Giants. Getting him to a team to take the next step doesn't hurt at all. It's quite a smart move by the Jays front office and by the staff to go and get a guy who's won before, because the hardest part about winning is knowing how to win. And just playing the game and having the most talent out there doesn't always do the trick. And getting a guy like Belt saying, okay, we need a little change in the locker room here, and he might be the guy to go out there and do that for the Toronto Blue Jays moving forward with the renovated Skydome. I'm actually quite excited to go there this season and see that, because they showed some rendered drawings of what they're doing there. They opened up to the media yesterday, and they've taken some photos here and there. So I'm quite excited to see the old great big shopping mall, I used to call it back in the day, how they're going to try to make that into looking more like a ballpark. But anyways, we'll get into that on another day. Like I said, like I've said before, baseball's in. They're in trouble. I mean, all sports in general are in trouble when it comes to beginning of seasons. You can go to every league, whether it be basketball, football, hockey, baseball. You have the have and have nots of each league, and there's nothing you can really do about it. The thing is that baseball has a real big problem with the have and have nots, other than the Tampa Bay Rays. Like I said, somehow they manage to do it every year. Their analytics staff and their scouting staff. You got to combine the two. You can't be too heavy on one or the other. But the thing about baseball is you already have, like I said, opening day 68 days away, and you already have 10 teams that aren't making the playoffs, and it's a guaranteed, it's a lock. It must be kind of nice for those fan bases to just sit back, relax, knowing your team's not going to win. You can just watch the game and enjoy it a little bit. Yeah, you want your team to win, and I get it, but sometimes just watching a ball game is a nice thing too. Yeah, it means a lot more in October when your team's relevant and your team has a chance to win. There's nothing better than when your team has a chance to win a World Series. It's why you watch the games, and it's why how you thought of when you were a kid playing in the backyard or in the sandlot or whatever it was. But it must be not a bad feeling to not have that pressure on you day in, day out, with the war of attrition. I think I say that right every week. No one's corrected me, so I don't know. But the war of attrition that is the baseball season, the 6 month playing everyday thing that can get to you, and watching the game day in, day out, and you start to grind with your team, want your team to win. So for these 10 teams, save yourself some money, save yourself the heartache. It's not going to happen this year for your team, and I guarantee you that's a thing. Team is going to have a lot of trouble this year, and it's because the division they're in, and because they've shedded payroll a lot, is the Washington Nationals. They just aren't good. They're going to spend only $75 million this year. 75, not 175, $75 million this year, which is two pitchers that pitched for the New York Mets who were in their division. They had 107 losses last year. They're projected to lose a lot more this year. They just have nothing there. And if you feel for a team that's not that far removed from winning a world championship, to be in that kind of a downhill slide, but that division that they're in is awfully tough too, with the Mets, with the Braves, and with the National League champion who went to World Series last year and made a series of it, your Philadelphia Phillies. You got three teams who are probably playoff teams right off the bat in your division, and they're going to the World, and maybe one of them going to the World Series. And the Mets have strengthened their team by going out and getting Verlander and the like. So they're a better team this year than they were last year. And with that, you're going to have a lot more losses in the division for the Washington Nationals. And you have the Miami Marlins in there, the Florida Marlins, whatever. Jeter it always comes back to Jeter, no matter what, kids. With Jeter leaving that team last year, because he saw the writing on the wall for the Marlins to not do anything. They weren't into winning. They were in to collect money. This is 1420 thoughts. The Miami Marlins are there to make money off of the MLB app and the MLB streaming services and everything else. They don't even try to put a competitive team out on the field. They're going to spend $75 million as well this year. They had 93 losses. Expect them to have a few more, reach the 100 loss plateau this year. That's kind of what I'm thinking. You're going to have two 100 loss teams in that division. You're going to have the real haves and the real have-nots, and it's too bad, but that's how baseball is, and the rules allow it. We talked about it a lot on this show, that Cohen's going to be out there spending a lot of money and he's done it. He doesn't care, and I can't see them being done. Like I said last week, I can't remember, it was in 14:20 in the morning or on Foul Tips. I gave you my prediction about Ohtani and when the Mets are going to win a World Series. They're not winning in 23, they're going to win in 24, but I figure Ohtani is going to finish the next season with the New York Metropolitans.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.